everyone. It's Lighthouse Angel Messages. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you have an amazing and beautiful Friday as well as your weekend. I'm doing a collective reading just to see what energy you need to know for today and for the weekend. On this channel, we focus on taking you from zero to hero in your own life. So take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And I went ahead and pulled out the cards that I was called to pull out for this reading. And the first one is Loon Spirit. Now, this has come out several times in my other readings already. So if this resonates with you, you might want to check some of the other readings. I can't remember exactly what days, but it's come out a couple times already. It says, Loon Spirit Intuitive. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. Okay? And I'm going to read all the cards and then deliver you the message. And then we have the Giraffe Spirit, which is visionary. Says, rise above earthly matters, glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path, stand tall in your self-worth, and love with a big heart. Yeah, and I'm really called, I'm going to go ahead and say this, I'm really called to big heart. Okay, and I feel like that's you, collective. I'm speaking to somebody who loves with a huge heart. Okay, and again, as I've said it in the past, that is really truly a gift from the divine. Okay, don't let anybody shrink your heart, stand in the beauty that you carry, because it really is unique. We are always speaking to you and sending you messages. And this card is messages from the universe. We are always speaking to you and sending you messages. When you feel like you are alone in a situation, just know that you are never truly are. We are reminding you to stop, look around, and believe in something else, something more. We've got your back. Okay? And you may have been asking for signs, synchronicities, word or sound confirmations from the divine. They are speaking to you, so be open to receive these and don't doubt them, okay? If you're seeing a sign, a word, anything that is consistently popping up in your reality, it's the divine guiding you, confirming your path. I'm hearing confirming your path for you. It says, love yourself more by saying no to things that feel draining and burdening for you. Saying no when you want to say no instead of saying yes to please other people is a real act of self-love. Okay? So what I'm getting with this is that, I may be speaking to somebody who's trying to get out of the energy of people pleasing. Okay? And that, stand firm on when you want to say no. Don't let people pull you in or invite you into situations where your heart and your soul are saying no, but maybe some old behaviors of people pleasing, pulls you into saying yes. Okay? Because you're not walking in your truth, right? And it's going to leave you feeling restless and not good about yourself by not standing in that truth, okay? It's not your job to make people happy or fill some void. I'm also hearing don't entertain their games. Love yourself first and don't be Don't say yes to people who are inviting you into situations that your soul is saying no to. Okay? And keep listening and have the awareness to the visions and the signs that you're getting from the divine. Because they're here confirming that they are sending those to you, and that they're always with you. And they want you to stand tall in your self-worth and love that big heart of yours. And say no when you mean no. When your soul and your heart say no, stand in that truth, okay? And listen to your intuition. Because that no that you're feeling is also your intuition speaking to you. Because your intuition knows the way. Right? It's your higher self. It's also the divine speaking to you. So don't second guess that, or don't let someone sell you into buying, selling you into changing your mind when you know the way. Okay? Because it's only going to lead to disappointment on your part, wishing you would have stood in your truth, right? Because it causes you to kind of almost step into their truth, not yours, right? It's like just to satisfy them. And there really is no reason for that. It's not your job to satisfy them. It's about standing in your truth. Okay, we're going to get some more messages from the compass box. But if you've been, I'm also hearing if you are getting signs, synchronicities, specifically word or sound confirmations, or you've been seeing a lot of repetitive numbers, they are from the divine. If you're wondering if the divine is guiding you, I'm here today as a confirmation telling you that yes, your visions, your intuition, is accurate. It's from us. We are speaking to you. Okay? And that you're able to see the right path. They're showing you through these signs the right path. Okay? So don't second guess it. Especially in days where you feel you're not getting any signs, or maybe it's quiet. You're not seeing anything. You're not hearing anything. Your intuition even seems quiet. Stand in that unwavering faith of those signs that you've been receiving, those visions you've been receiving. Stand in your truth that, don't second guess just because they're not, all the time. Right? You have to stand in the truth that you know you are on the right path. Okay? All right, let's see what else they have when it comes to this message. It says, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. Yeah, and I feel like that comes with this. What I was just saying is that when you stand in your truth of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be, and I'll just use an example of, somebody invites you to do something with them, and your intuition, your heart, your soul is saying no, right? But it's, it's like you think you're supposed to be a certain someone or something for this person. Maybe you feel responsible for this person, or you feel responsible for their happiness. They want you to sit firmly in your authenticity, right? Letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we actually are. Because that's the person God created you to be, right? That's where all your divine gifts are. That's where all your divine gifts are. So many people are trying to be like someone else, copy someone else, take their idea and make it their own and, try to be successful that way. When really all we need to do is get into the authentic truth of who you are, because that's where all your divine gifts lay. That's where God is going to show you your divine gifts. That's going to make you abundant. That's going to make you prosperous. That's going to make you feel that joy, that peace. And it can be and those gifts, if you're not in that authenticity, you don't even really know what they are. It may not even, if you were to stand in that authenticity, you may find it's something you never thought it would fly up on your radar, right? Because it's standing in your truth and getting to know who you really are, letting go of what people think you should be, saying no, not people pleasing by saying yes, is where God can start showing you your path, your divine path, where all your gifts lie that will deliver you that life that you dream about. That divine abundance. Okay. Success is a series of small things. Yeah. And what I'm getting with this is I've actually heard several times today, and I'm bringing this on the channel because maybe you need to do it, but, challenge yourself to doing something for 30 days, okay? Like for me, it's going to be, reading daily scripture for 30 days. So what is it going to be for you? But I feel like this is kind of a confirmation from the divine for me to mention that. What is it that you can start tomorrow and do for 30 days that will raise your vibration, put you in your alignment, and bring you closer to the divine, right? And bring you closer to the best version of yourself. What is that you can do for the next 30 days? And commit to that. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. It could be, 10 minutes. We all have at least 10 minutes in our day that we can commit to making a small change in our life, right? And see, how that will affect you after that 30 days. It's going to create success in your life within yourself, because it's going to change. It's going to change your vibration. It's going to change your outlook. It's going to, it could be just maybe for 30 days, you want to sit down for 10 minutes and, read a bunch of affirmations, repeat a bunch of affirmations to yourself. Whatever it is to you, I challenge you for the next 30 days to do something for 10 minutes. If you can do more, great. If you can't, that's fine. To improving and becoming the best version of yourself. Okay? Let's see. Because as we each work towards and requiring more from ourselves to become the best version, then the vibration does affect the collective as a whole, because we're changing the vibration, the frequency, and it does have an effect. Okay. A real man understands that sex isn't everything when it comes to satisfying a lady. Comforting her, appreciating her, respecting her, and taking care of her emotionally is also part of pleasing her. Okay. So, if maybe somebody needs to hear this right now, maybe this has something to do about, saying no when you mean no. If you're in a relationship right now and you're questioning if this is the person, I think the divine is here saying, this is a real man. A real man understands that sex isn't everything when it comes to satisfying a woman. Comforting her, appreciating her, respecting her, and taking care of her emotionally is also part of pleasing her. Okay? So, and that can be, man or woman, right? We don't do gender here, but, don't settle for less than what you deserve. Okay? Don't be anybody's option. You know your worth, you know your value now. You know your path, you know where you're going, and don't let somebody come back around and want to, entertain you in some sort of one night stand, right? You know your worth, you know your value, and now you require more, right? Those who are standing in their truth and their authenticity, this is no longer in alignment with you, right? Because you know your worth. You require more now. So don't stand in your truth. Love yourself more by saying no to things that feel draining and burdening for you. And real love is also an act of self-love. God uses broken things. Yeah. So what I'm getting with this is that, and it's because it's a heart and it's all these different pieces, right? Your heart may have been broken by a lot, and into many pieces by one or a couple of different men who used you, just for personal pleasure. Okay? But I'm here to tell you that the divine can put you back together, can put all of those broken pieces back together and make you whole again, right? And how he does that is that you need to pray and spend time with him and ask for the healing, okay? And part of the healing is, owning your part in situations where, maybe you were people pleasing. Maybe you were saying yes when you really meant no, right? And that's not going to be for all of you. But if you feel like your heart has been broken by past relationships who didn't see or value your worth and just used you for their own selfish reasons, I'm telling you that you have the ability to turn all of that brokenness and that pain into power through the divine. He can help heal you back to whole. Okay? So don't stay broken. I'm hearing, don't stay broken. You're worthy of healing your heart and receiving real love from somebody who sees your value, knows your worth, and will love this big, I started at the very beginning that it was this big heart. And I feel who I'm talking to is that you have a huge heart, and a bunch of people took turns on breaking it. And it's going to be different for everyone, but I'm telling you, don't stay in that energy, right? Because God uses those broken pieces and he turns that into his own masterpiece. You are God's masterpiece, right? Allow him to heal you. Because you have such a beautiful heart, right? And there's somebody out there that's going to value it, that's going to cherish it, that's going to honor it. Okay? Don't give up on what you deserve. Okay? Don't give up on what you deserve. Because you are worthy and of what you want in your life, right? When it comes to a person. So don't settle. And I think that's what this confirmation is about a real man. The divine here is don't settle for somebody who can't see your worth and value. It says hope. Hold on, pain ends. Yeah, have hope and hold on, because this pain will end. Just, and maybe one of the the things that you do for the next 30 days is just a daily prayer of healing. But he doesn't want you to give up hope. God sees everything. He's seen every single one of these pieces of your heart get broken. And who broke it, and what they said, what they did, everything. Okay? And he will deal with them accordingly. But what he needs you to focus on is working with him on healing those broken pieces. Right? Those traumas, those wounds, the scars. Don't turn, I talked about this a little bit in yesterday's reading. It's like, don't run away from the pain in your heart. Because if you do, then what happens is that the pain, the brokenness in your heart, then you start projecting that on other people and you're hurting others. Because you turn your back on your own pain. It's time for you to face it and heal it. Okay? It's kind of becoming the theme of my channel. Make this pain in your heart end with you. Don't let it become a cycle that keeps transferring to your kids, and then the kids transfer that to their kid. The cycle keeps going. Right? Make it end with you. It stops with you. We have the Seven of Cups. And this can be illusion. And I feel like maybe you had people in the past that came in and broke your heart with illusions. Maybe false promises. This is also options. Maybe you were treated as an option by several people, thinking that you were actually more than an option, or wanting to be more than an option. Okay? But standing in your truth with the divine, letting him heal your broken heart, you're no longer going to be in alignment with anybody who is going to treat you like an option, right? because you know your worth, and you're willing to hold on for somebody who can value the enormous heart that you carry, okay? That's actually a gift from God, okay? You know, and I'm seeing the giraffe here. It's like you have a higher perspective. And I think deep down you, through that perspective, you know. You see this. So keep standing tall. Keep standing tall. Be positive, stay happy, and don't let the negativity of the world get you down. Yeah, and you know, and it can really get to us sometimes when, you know, especially when we get pulled into people's games, or we get pulled into manipulation, or we say yes when we mean no, and you know, and really when you start having this higher perspective of people, and you're able to see people's masks, the fakeness, right? It can get us down, you know, on days. But they want you to do your best to stay positive, stay happy, and don't let the negativity get you down. You've worked, you know, you've worked so hard to get to this point, and they don't want you to lose hope, because God is going to do something beautiful with this broken heart of yours that, you know, some of you are just starting, but others of you, God has already mended, put all these pieces back together, and he's going to reveal you as his masterpiece, okay? So he doesn't want you to give up hope, and he doesn't want you to settle for less than you deserve, okay? But for others of you that need to get started, you know, it's worth it. Take the time and invest in yourself, because you are worthy and deserving to be whole again. Do it with passion or not at all. Yeah. When it comes to loving yourself and healing yourself, okay? The divine wants you to do it with passion, okay? He doesn't want you to be, you know, one-foot in, one foot out, okay? He wants you to make, you know, for those who are just starting, make healing yourself your passion, right? Making small steps, you know, we were just talking about that 30-day daily thing that you can do that will create self-improvement. You know, it's so simple, you know, and then after those 30 days, reevaluate. Maybe you choose something else. But don't settle, you know, what I'm getting from this as well is that don't, you know, my goal is for people, like, don't settle for where you are. It's time to step up and require more from yourself, because you have a lot to offer the world. You know, we all need to take the time to invest in ourselves. You know, we spend so much time investing in other people and businesses and ventures and all these things, but do we actually take the time to invest in ourselves, our healing, becoming and working on putting the broken pieces back together so that we can be the best version of ourselves for the people around us, for the divine, as a messenger? Also, if you're doing a passion project, this is a confirmation too for you. You need to get on it, or just don't do it at all, right? Do it with passion. God is good. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you allow him, if you spend the next 30 days with him, 10 minutes, 15 minutes or more in prayer, meditation, he's gonna help put those pieces of your broken heart back together so you can honor the beauty of it, because it truly is a gift that he gave you, this big beautiful heart of yours, right? And God is so good, he's gonna turn you into his masterpiece. You are going to be, once you've done all this healing and you stand in your authentic truth, right? You're ready to show the world who you really are in all of your gifts. The world needs that right now. We all need to invest in ourselves. Okay? Not choosing not to I'm hearing this too. Choosing not to numb this out, And when I say numb this out, I'm not talking about alcohol, drugs, and all that. That can be. But there's so many other things that we do to numb this out. Okay? And that's just another way I describe as turning your back to it. Okay? Letting this control you in a negative way. It's time to take your power back of power within you and your life. And God is just saying, just spend time with me. Come have a conversation with me daily. Speak to me. Tell me how I can help you. How can I heal you? Speak to me about your wounds. Right? And let him guide you. Because all of our wounds are different. But it's time to invest in yourself. Everything you go through grows you. Yeah. And all the experiences, and that's where you turn this pain into power. Okay? If you take this big broken heart of yours and you choose to sit in victimhood about, so this happened to me and that happened to me and I'm like this because that happened and I'm like this because that, right? And instead turn that pain into power. Every single day, if I feel, negative energy, or I have some sort of situation or bad situation not work out in my favor or something like that, I'm like, the first thing I say is, what can I learn from this? And how can I alchemize this into power? And God shows me, and I do it. And that's why instead of, it doesn't allow you to break you. It allows you to take that, grow from it, and turn it into power in your life. Okay? What broke you doesn't have to keep you there. Okay? I've had many different things happen to me all over, when all different levels. So I'm here telling you that it doesn't have to be a place where you stay, no matter what it is. Okay? And take your power back. Because when you sit in this brokenness, when you have such a beautiful heart to offer the world, it's just waiting for you to reveal itself. You're giving the power to the people who hurt you, right? You're giving the power of your future to them. And it's time to reclaim your power. Because everything you go through grows you. And that is a choice. It is a choice. But you don't have to sit and be stuck and stagnant in your pain. You can turn that pain into power and purpose. Okay? And it starts with seeking out the divine and letting him guide you. Okay? All right, let's see what else. And, for some of you, I'm hearing you've been doing this, and if that's your story, congratulations, you should be celebrated. You keep choosing yourself, right? Versus saying yes to something that drains you or burdens you, right? You keep choosing yourself and letting the divine guide you through the messages and the signs that you're seeing. Ask, how can I be of service to others? Use your God-given traits, whatever that might be, to spread positivity, open-mindedness, love, and happiness. Do your best to be the best version of yourself. Share your talents, gifts, and wisdom. Oh my gosh, that's like this whole reading in a nutshell. I'm going to read it one more time. Ask, how can I be of service to others? Use your God-given talents, whatever that might be, to spread positivity, open-mindedness, love, and happiness. Do your best to be the best version of yourself. Share your talents, gifts, and wisdom. Yeah, and that's what God is going to reveal by putting all these pieces of your broken heart together. And I think I'm speaking to somebody who is passionate to helping others, right? But you have so many, everybody has a unique set of gifts that has been given from the divine, right? But we're so busy chasing our own narrative, our own agenda, we're completely oblivious and lack the awareness to what those are. Because you got to stand in your authenticity to know what they are. Right? I'm not talking about the job that you do to pay your bills. I'm talking about your authentic self. What you do that drives your passion. Right? Where that passion lies. Everybody has these unique set of talents that God has given. That's just waiting. The world is waiting to embrace them, right? But you got to do the healing work. You got to find out who you are. And by doing that, it's through the healing. It's through not numbing this and allowing God to heal you. Allowing God to heal you and knowing your worth. Saying no when you mean no. And standing in your truth and let God show you and guide you to your divine purpose, your path. Because everybody has a unique set of talents and gifts. Okay? So be open to receive those signs and messages from the divine, to open your mind as to what these things are. Okay? And maybe some of you already know what they are, but you might be saying, oh, well, I could never, make a living doing that. Or, how am I going to get the money to do that? You don't need to worry about that. And you don't need to worry about that. What you need to worry on is, actually you don't need to worry at all, but you need to stay focused on what you can do with what you have now, right? Because God He's working upstream. He's making moves. He's making shift. He's aligning the people, the positions, the opportunities, the resources, everything that you need to know to make this divine path of passion, he's lining it out for you. But you can't get in alignment with it until you put your passion into it. Okay? So don't worry about outcomes. God is going to line that up for you. Right? He can make things happen just out of a tiny mustard seed. He can move mountains. He can shift things, connections. He can make people who don't even know you all of a sudden somehow find you and bless you. So, don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just worry, don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just focus on putting the passion into it. Okay? Okay. Don't compare your life to others. You have no idea what they have been through. Yeah. And this is one thing, I try to really focus on is that, we have no business judging anyone because we have no idea what they've been through. Okay? So don't compare your life to others or do anything like, well, I should be where they are, or my life is not where I should be right now. Don't do any comparison because everybody has their own unique journey, their own path. Okay? Maybe you don't have kids and everybody else has kids. Okay? Don't compare your life to others because that's not your divine path. Everybody's path is different. Especially when you release and let go and let the divine guide you. When you go with the flow, you don't control outcomes. You don't control the narrative, right? It allows the divine to put you on your path. So don't compare your life to others because, if you're on your path, it's not going to look like other people's path. Like I said, everybody has a unique set of gifts and everybody has their own path and their own journey. Okay? Some have more, when it comes to healing. Their journey may require more time, more investment when it comes to healings, where others may not. Right? But one thing we all have to do is grow. Okay? Some people choose not to, and that is, choosing to do nothing is still a choice. But you're not going to get to the kind of joy, peace, harmony, prosperity, abundance that the divine has for you. Okay? All right. So, don't compare your life to others. Your life is unique to you, and so is your journey. We can get caught up with, especially with social media, with what we see out there. And we think, physically, maybe I'm supposed to look or different or be in better shape or, maybe I should have a house by now. I should have X amount of money by now. Everybody has a different journey. And if you go with the flow of the divine, if you let the divine guide you, that's going to come with growth. It's going to come with ups and downs, right? Because we only grow what we go through. So if everything is just wonderful, right, you're not really growing. You grow through the pain, okay? So don't compare. Love is not finding someone to live with. It's finding someone you can't live without. Yeah. And I think, you're not settling now. For those who have put all these pieces of your broken heart back together, and for those who are working on it now, just know you're on the right path. And you will get there. And when you get there, you'll know your worth, you'll know your value, you know when to say no. You're not going to people please, right? You're in line with the divine. You have surrendered. You're going with the flow. You see the visions. You see the signs. And you're not settling for someone just to fill a void, right? You're looking for the real deal, the real love. The one that can see your worth, your value, understands your depth, your big heart, that has that higher perspective. Somebody who understands you, that you don't have to convince or explain. I'm hearing as well. Okay, don't settle. You didn't come this far to settle now. Life is better when you are laughing. Yeah. And don't forget to laugh. Don't forget how, because we can, when we're on a healing journey, it can take a toll. It can feel very serious at times, right? It also can feel very emotional, turbulent time in life when you're dealing with all those emotions and healing all those wounds. God doesn't want you to forget. He doesn't want you to forget to laugh, right? Because this is a journey. And, we don't want to take it so serious that we're no longer having fun, right? So don't forget to laugh. If you need to put on some of those old funny comedies, do so. Or go to a comedy show or something. Change, if you feel like you're really stuck in your emotions, or you feel like it's just been really serious and it's really taken a toll, and you feel like, where's the fun in this? That's when you need to change up the energy and go do something that you enjoy, that's going to make you laugh, and that it's going to change the energy within you. It's going to change your alignment. It's going to change your vibration. It's really, really important. It's going to be, I'm hearing, it's going to be the thing that keeps you going on this journey. Okay? Because it can be exhausting as well. So if you need rest, take the rest that you need, because, emotions, feeling all that emotion, it can be very exhausting. Okay? But don't forget to laugh. And getting out into the sun, getting out into nature. Okay? And listen to your intuition, because it's really guiding the way here. And when you get those nudges, listen to them and don't second guess them. When your intuition, when you get those intuitional hits, act on them. Don't justify them away or ignore them, because they're there for a reason. Okay? They're your guiding light. All right? And don't forget that 30-day challenge. I would love to hear in the comments, what are you going to do for the next 30 days that is going to help improve and lead you to the success in your life, to becoming the best version of yourself. Okay, I'm going to get one last message for today. I'm going to use this just to close out this reading. I hope this resonated for you. I hope this has given you clarity on how to get your life unstuck, moving forward, and, moving towards the best version of yourself, right? It's so easy to choose to stay where you are, but it's time to grow and expand and choose something different, right? Choose something different. And the divine is waiting for you. The divine is waiting to hear your prayers. So, all right, let's see. What is the final message? What is the final message. Okay. This is the perfect card. It says, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Yeah. Yes. Let the divine teach you, right? Because they're going to guide you and heal you back to the light. You know, when we're sitting in all this brokenness, you know, it's a very dark place. And then we operate out of that darkness. That's why then we start projecting, and then we start, you know, our insecurities come back, our ego steps in, all of these dark things, right? But reach out for the divine and let them be your teacher, because they will guide you back to the light. Okay, collective? Thank you so much. That's the end of the reading. And don't forget, I do daily readings Monday through Friday. So if something doesn't resonate with you here, please check back on Monday and see if something resonates for you there. Again, have a beautiful Friday and weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.